Shoot. Okay, talking a little bit about the flat and the pick, the flat pick, the flat picking. What is flat picking? How is it different than just using a pick anytime? So, flat picking, I cannot get my camera right here. Flat picking refers as much to a style of music and really to a body of music as it does to a style of playing the guitar or the mandolin or the whatever. But obviously, we'll start at the beginning by saying that if you're using your fingers, you're not flat picking. If you're hybrid picking, you're not flat picking. It's a tradition that's defined by its limitations. It is kind of like reggae. You can blend it with things to a degree, but there are certain things that make it what it is, and when you get outside of that, it's no longer what it is. Much more so than bluegrass. So it's not so much a genre of music the way that we might think of as bluegrass. By the way, genres were made up by record companies to be able to push more product. They're not real. So flat picking is more of an approach that both is talking about the physical apparatus that you're using, the mechanics that you're using to make the music, but also I would argue on a more philosophical level, an approach in terms of a way of getting music out of a guitar. Of course, you can flat pick a mandolin, but it's not really talked about in the same terms. Flat picking is really, to me, a guitar player's term, and yes, it is about acoustic guitar. If you're using a flat pick and shredding an electric guitar, like, okay, you're flat picking, but that's not flat picking. That's not what we're talking about. Closest thing would be like Steve Morse and the Dixie Dregs. He's definitely like flat picking his Telecaster, Stratocaster. So, flat picking means you use a pick. Mine ain't flat. It's all bent up because it's made out of buffalo horn. You're using a pick. Typically, there is a lot of alternate picking, but not exclusively. It's fine. There's hammer-ons and all this stuff. And by the way, this isn't about rules. This is just about giving a little bit of education towards what we're talking about. So when we're talking about flat picking, a lot of the progenitors, the people who would be on the Mount Rushmore of flat picking, the Doc Watsons, the Norman Blakes, the Dan Craries, generation before Tony, at least generation before Tony, we're taking Appalachian music and old-time music and things that would become bluegrass and taking fiddle tunes. Really, to me, I think the real genesis of flat picking is essentially, hey Sam, you want to find like another time or place to lick your paws? Sad. It was really just about people trying to get more melody out of a guitar. And Doc is kind of the guy there as far as that's concerned. So enough talking, let's do a little more flat picking. I'll give you a couple of examples. Here, my guitar is tuned down a little bit to get it where it resonates the best. I'm using a C shape, and when you're flat picking, there ain't no flat keys. There's just there's caged chords and there's capos. So I'm using a C shape, and I'm capoed on the 2nd fret. So of course that yields the actual concert D or something close to it because of my tuning right now. So that was, I believe that's Texas scales. So part of flat picking that might come up is called cross picking. And again, these are ex post facto. This is after the fact. We've applied these terms to what people are doing. And that's basically arpeggiating, making an arpeggio, playing the guitar like it was a piano or a harpsichord or a harp or an auto harp. It's harping. Arpeggio, harp. Yep, right. So when I did that thing in the end of the B part of Whiskey Before Breakfast, This is a tough one, so So let's get into a little practicality. The best thing that anyone ever told me was from Owen Morrison, and he said if you want to get better at flat picking, the one thing you do is just take 3 adjacent strings and pick them in 4-note patterns as many ways as you can. So I'm going to use my G chord here, my 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings here, also known as D, G, B, if I weren't capoed. And I'm just going to go through all the different iterations I can do. I ain't no statistician, neither of those am I, so I don't know how many there are, but it's a bunch, right? But if you just start with kind of basic, or really making things clear, make good tone, pretend you're a horn player, and make sure that every note that comes out is worthy of your breath. That's the goal, anyway. And as you do that, then of course picking single notes on one string, which I actually think is one of the hardest things to do on a guitar, does naturally get easier as well. A lot more that could be talked about, but the point is, make music, have fun. If you're interested in flat picking, stay tuned and let me know what you want to know, and I'll talk about it. And it will be free, and it will always be free, and everything that I share in my content will always be free. That's cool, right? And in case you were wondering, guitars ruin lives. That's also true. Have a good day.